Hello Reapers, my name's Seth and we are back in some more Trove, and today we're going to be doing a pack review of the Square Necessities. I don't know if this thing is entirely worth it. You get quite a few cool things out of it, but overall you're not really going to end up getting as much mastery as you would end up getting from the other $20 packs, because yes, that's right, this is going to be 20 American dollars, folks. Now I know a lot of you kids that live in other sides of the world, that's actually quite a bit of simoleons for you, but in either case, whatever, we're just going to go through all the different items that you end up getting out of the pack, and I'll explain why, technically speaking, this pack is actually worthwhile, but at the same time, as far as the actual value is concerned, I wouldn't say it's worth it. So the pack description itself says, look at these square necessities. These simple square necessities will take away your worriment with flight. I don't even know if worriment is a word. If it is, it should be banned from the world for being stupid. Contains Jerhill, which is this Griffon Mount right here. I don't even know. Like, I love how the pack just says contains Jerhin. Or Jerhill or Jerhin. Either way, like it should just say contains a griffin. Also, it's got wings of the World Watcher, the Trovian Tracker Hound ally, which is the little ally that you see dancing around us right now. The Trovian Tetrabode, which is this frameworks recipe behind us, and I'll show you what it actually costs to create this bad boy in a little bit. 7 styles, 10 gem booster boxes, 10 greater dragon caches, 10 chaos chests, and 10 party animals. Now, that's actually a pretty good deal as far as Trove standard is concerned, because even just buying 10 dragon caches, or even 11 for that fact, is going to be 2,500 credits, and if we translate that over here, that's roughly the same amount of spending, maybe $10 to $15 just for the dragon caches alone, and you're going to be getting them out of the pack, let alone there's the chaos chest, which 10 of these bad boys is another 500 credits, so that pretty much makes the 10 chaos chests and the 10 dragon caches already, combined with the gem booster boxes, is most definitely going to cost you around 20 bucks. So you're getting all of that stuff topped with all these other items. And in that regard, the pack is definitely worthwhile, but honestly speaking, the reason why I personally say that it's not worth it is because there's other packs in the game that give you a lot more bang for your buck, especially mastery-wise, because your chances are you're not going to end up getting anything out of like 10 chaos chests and 10 greater dragon caches. I mean, you never know. You never know, that's for sure. But most of all, it's that Trove's store in general is very overpriced, and a lot of those items like that's not worth $20, man. Like, seriously, there's so many other things you could get. Now, let's go on to the more important things, though, which is going to be all of the actual items that you get out of it. So there's going to be this little ally right here, kind of adorable. He's a bit of a reskin of the other dog mounts, but at least he's got some proper shading. Give a little golf clap to the devs right here, folks, because seriously, they don't typically do shading in any of the items that they end up adding to the game as of late, and it's been a bit of a problem. Like, I like the items that they're adding per se, but the fact that they're so undetailed makes me feel like they're underdeveloped. This little ally, though, he's got his work cut out for him, and the stats that you're going to actually get out of him is 68 physical damage, so of course magic users are not going to be able to use this guy, and 121 maximum health. Yet another ally, though, that technically speaking you're going to end up using as a skin, like just going to end up making your allies look like this just because you like it, because honestly speaking those stats are not really anything important or reliable in any way, shape, or form. Now, we get to go to some of the styles right here. So this is going to be the sword style, an absolute mess. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I don't like it. I'm just gonna say, like, it's almost like it's a sword that stabbed into and made, it's like a homemade mallet or something. I don't understand what it's supposed to be. It's kind of got a couple different colors going for it, which is okay. You know, as far as the devs are concerned, that's actually really, really good. But I don't know, there's so many other items and styles in the game that's just like, why would you ever end up using this one? Outside of the fact that I guess it goes with this knight costume, which is a really old costume. And then we get this helmet, which does actually look really, really cool from the front. I actually kind of like it. It's kind of a reskin of the Adventurer's helmet that you can end up buying for Adventuring in the hub or at the Adventuring merchant. Either way, I like it, except for the fact that the majority of the time you're going to be looking at the back of your character, and doesn't it just look like a house is on his head? You know, like that's one of the things that I would love for the developers to start considering is when they're making helmets, they got to start considering that the majority of the time you're going to end up staring at the back of the helmet, so it should be something exciting back there rather than all of the fun looking on the front. Now, that said, it's still actually a pretty cool helmet, and again, ends up going with this costume. Then we've got Gerald, which is going to end up being kind of a rainbow-ish Griffin. He's kind of got the same Trovian colors, which is going to be that disgusting puke green topped with all the yellow. At least he's got a couple different shades of colors going on for him, and you might not be able to really tell, but on his wing right there, that is actually the Trove Square, like the Trove logo. So it's pretty cool that they ended up kind of going the extra mile with this guy, and as if that's not already cool enough, they've actually got some insane details that you wouldn't think that they would have, where his back feet are actually cat feet or lion feet, because that's what a griffin's supposed to be, and the front are bird or eagle feet, right? Now, if we actually start walking, you can just make out that the footprints are going to be birds mixed with cats. Now, how cool is that they actually went the extra mile to make that, like, consistency? Because I don't think any of the other Griffins end up actually having something like that. Now, that said, too, the other thing you gotta consider is that this being a Griffon mount means that it is going to be a gliding mount, so consider that when you're trying to actually purchase this pack, because you're essentially going to end up getting yourselves a flying mount, especially if you're a starting player. This can end up being quite essential for you, and on top of that, you're going to end up getting something even more valued, although I love the Griffin's flight animations, especially when you start tilting to the left or right and it starts flapping its wings. It actually looks really, really good. But you're going to end up getting these wings out of the pack as well. And I mean, honestly speaking, I would like these. I would love to say that I think that these wings are great. They're HD, which is what I like about them. They're very, very detailed, which is what I like about them. They've got the yellow going on for them, but they've got that disgusting green again. And I don't care what the devs think. Green and yellow is an awful color combination, isn't it? Like, maybe it's just me. You know, maybe other people are sitting here seeing those wings and going, those are my favorite wings in the entire game. But honestly speaking, I would rather have any other color than green. I would rather have brown, dude. Like, seriously. So anyways, let's move on to the framework here. The framework's pretty cool. It's actually not too bad. You can throw it down on your cornerstone. It's a very quick way of actually just constructing this big tower, and you're going to be able to take staircases all the way up to the top, which is really, really nice. Make sure you end up having the floor cut out first. But one thing that I don't really understand is you see all this detail on the front, and did the devs not, like, look at the back or something? Because we're missing the awning over the windows that we get on every single other part of this construction. So it's kind of weird, dude. Like, I don't really understand, but it leaves a lot of room for, you know, customization. Like, you can end up hollowing these out and putting some water, or maybe you want to put some plants and stuff like that, and kind of end up just putting like other crafting tables, or open this up, and maybe you could turn this into balconies on the back rather than just trying to have the same awning. Now, you could technically build it yourself, just putting the gold on the back here, but seriously, like, you shouldn't have to do stuff like that when we're talking about a pre-built structure. It's something that you want to already have pre-built. That's kind of the whole point, isn't it? So let's hop back on over to the hub. Let's just go through some of the portal areas here. I could have actually gone into the old hub just for kicks, but oh well, that's okay. Let's hop into the center area right here, because we're going to craft this thing. Wait, where do we actually craft this? It's not crafted at the cube converter, is it? No, it doesn't actually seem like it's there. So maybe it's actually in, let me track this thing down. I think it's going to be in the adventures table, though. Oh, not the adventures table. I meant the workbench right here. Of course, it's going to end up being in the store frameworks. There it is right there. So it's actually going to be quite expensive to craft this thing, because it's 5,000 flux per. That's pretty crazy, considering the fact that, honestly speaking, I like these other towers better, and they're going to end up being the same price. This one's just kind of a green version. But it's not like it's bad or anything. Kind of has a whole, like, czar feel to it, if that's even, like, the proper term to actually say that. But takes primal yellow and primal green. Thankfully, it doesn't end up taking gold blocks, because otherwise then it would just be, like, out of the question expensive, right? Like, especially something like this taking, like, gold blocks. Could you imagine? Either way, still very very cool stuff. So let's swap on over to some of the other characters. This is going to end up being the gun style, which I actually really like this gun style. I think this one actually looks really, really good. There's not really going to be that many costumes that it's going to end up going with, but this is one example where the green and yellow actually complement each other quite well. Most of all, I think it's because we've got that glowing yellow or glowing blue kind of going through it that kind of transitions the colors very nicely between one another, right? So this is going to end up being the staff. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It kind of feels like an apartment building is on your stick, though. I don't know if it's necessarily something I'm entirely into, but either way. And then hopefully the video effects isn't blocking it too much, but we've got the bow style right here. I personally don't like it. It's just two colors. Like, it's another thing where they just clearly ended up copying out and making it extremely cheap. But you know what? At least it's kind of got a little bit of 3D-ness to it, rather than most of the other bows that we've seen the developers put out have actually just been one block thick. But, I mean, look at this guy's bow. Doesn't that look like way better? It actually looks very similar to one another, oddly enough. But either way, let's swap on over to the Lunar Lancer right here. So this is going to end up being the spear style, which is probably the most cringe, like low quality spear I've ever seen in the entire game. Some people are gonna like it, don't get me wrong. But would you believe that the end of the spear is actually the Trove logo? That's bad. Like, that's pushing it. Like, I've never seen a game be so obsessed with itself, you know, and think that its logo is like some really cool thing, despite the fact that the Trove logo in general, if you just Google a voxel, you're going to end up seeing the exact same image that the Trove developers clearly ended up taking and then just turning yellow to make like a yellow voxel. But in either case, in-game, I don't know. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like the fact that it's just one block thick. You know, it just kind of looks a little bit gross for my taste. But anyways, maybe there's something more to it. That's probably just me, though. Oh, and I should have also mentioned that the face style right here is going to end up going with the rest of the pack as well, which is not really that impressive, honestly speaking. It just makes me think of the Adventurine face style. And that's pretty much it, Reapers. So thanks so much for watching. Very much appreciate it. What do you think about the pack? Is it actually something worthwhile? Let me know in the comment section down below and share your feedback with other people in the community whether you think that this pack is actually worth $20. Personally speaking, I mean, obviously I ended up getting it not only just to do a review for you guys, but also just because of the fact that I need the mastery. Like, I'm a psychopath when it comes to this game. I get every single thing that ends up getting added. That said, I would argue that there are so many other packs that you can get in the game for $20 that are going to end up giving you not only a lot more items, but also a lot more mastery. Because that's the whole thing, is when you end up getting to the end game, you're only really buying the pack for mastery, in which case, why wouldn't you get it? But at the same time, you're only going to get maybe like 200 mastery out of it, if that, because you're going to end up getting the mount for 50 mastery, the wings for 100, and then just a couple different styles and stuff like that, right? And then the boxes, to me, don't really fill out the pack being a full $20. I think even with the boxes, the pack could get away with being $15, and then it would be like, oh, this is a steal, you have to buy it. But for $20, it's kind of like, if you have options to buy other things out of the store, I would recommend you do that. However, if you've already got everything, just go and get the pack. There's no reason not to. Thanks so much for watching, though, folks. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points to my merch store. Links are in the description for that. And for the fans that want to go the extra mile, you can donate to me for absolutely free with Gawkbox. Check links in the description. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.